that usually the vowels or the dots, they are an indication of what is happening internally. For instance, it says in the Tikkunei Zohar, "Unekuda la'atvan k'nishmata legufa," that the dots in the Hebrew letters, their relationship to the word is like the soul's relationship to the body. The words are the body, and the dots or the vowels are the soul, the internal aspect. And therefore, we know that any action that you do, there's the physical action, but more importantly is the spiritual, the soul reality that is happening behind that action. So, when a dot is on top of a word, what it's telling us is that although in the physical world the action is being done, the dot, which is an indication of what's really going on inside, the soul of, for instance in this case, Esav, Esau, is not true to what is being shown in the physical world. Why is the dot on top of the letter? And this is the secret here. It says that when somebody is doing something that is true, then how do you know if what you're doing is true? How do you know if what you're doing is really what the Creator wants? The Zohar often uses the term istara belaginia kish kish karya, which means that when you have a big box that's meant to hold thousands of coins and you only have one coin inside, when you move it, it makes a lot of noise. The Zohar uses that parable to say that somebody who doesn't have a lot inside wants everybody to know about it. He wants to make a lot of noise. So when somebody's not true, when somebody is doing something that's not true, he wants everybody to know about it. When somebody is doing something that is true, he doesn't want anybody to know about it. For instance, we know that Jacob learned for 14 years, and he did not sleep, he did not eat for 14 years straight in what's called the Bet Midrash of Shem Va'eva. Not a word of that is spoken in the Torah. Why? There's a famous quote from one of the Kabbalists that says that a person who's truly, for instance, studying, this person who's truly connecting to the light of the Creator, he does it in such secret that even the angels don't know that he's doing it. Again, because if a person is doing something that's true, together with that comes a desire for nobody to know about it. If somebody's doing something that's not true, or at least something that is mixed with not the right intention, not the right thought, then there is a desire that goes with it to have everybody know about it. And therefore, again, concerning Esav, he wanted everybody to see how much he loved Yaakov. Inside, the soul was saying, it's not true. And therefore the dot on top of that word is saying, this might be happening in the physical world, but what is true, what is within the soul of Esav, is something else. Not love. As a matter of fact, hate. Conversely, when a righteous person, and now we get to Pinchas's action was so pure, was so true, that he didn't want anybody to know about the good that he was doing. So much so that he was okay even to be killed in that moment and to be viewed by all of the Israelites, by millions of people, as a negative person. Because again, this is the secret. How do you know, and we can all ask ourselves the question, how do you know if you're doing something that's true, that's something that's really connected to the light of the Creator? How important is it to you that somebody else knows about it? If you have a desire for anybody to know about it, that's an indication that it's not true. Conversely, if you want to know if what you're doing is true, if what you're doing is truly what the Creator wants of you, you have zero desire for anybody to know about it. Because if it's true, if it's truly coming from the soul, then something that comes from the soul is something that you desire nobody to know about it, except the Creator. And therefore, Pinchas, why does in the word shalom is there a break? Because it's an indication. When we read it, we see a broken vav, which would seem to indicate there's something wrong with the action, or there's something wrong with the blessing given to Pinchas. It's an indication that it was true, because it was manifest in a way that does not allow, or at least allows a place for people to doubt whether the action and the reward that Pinchas received was complete, whether his action was pure and perfect, and whether the blessing and what he received in return was pure and perfect. And that's an indication that it was true. Because as we said, and this is the lesson, that when something is pure, there is a the Creator allows it, and it awakens within the individual a desire for nobody to know about it. And even if people need to find out about it, you try to make it in a way where they don't see how perfect it is, how pure it is. When something is impure, when something is imperfect, then there is the desire that comes with it to make it known. Therefore, we have to know that any time we do something, whether it's one action or in general, and it's important to us that it is known for its goodness, that's an indication that it's not the right action, or at least it's not being done in the pure way, it's not being done in the proper way. Pinchas, when he did it, was so pure and so perfect. The indication of the perfection is what? That when you read it, you can't tell. That when you read it, you might make a mistake and think there's something wrong with what he did. Because his desire was pure, and therefore his desire, his pure desire, manifested a desire for his perfect action never to be known. And therefore the Creator writes it with a broken vav. That's an indication that it was pure, because his desire was not to have anybody be able to see how perfect it was, not to have anybody to give the opening to anybody who wants to make the mistake and think that the action of Pinchas was not perfect. Again, for us, it's a very, very important understanding. You want to know whether what you're feeling, what you're doing, is really what the Creator wants you to do, is really the direction the Creator wants you to take, and the action the Creator wants you to take. Ask yourself the second question: do I want people to know about it? If you want people to know about it, that's a clear indication that you are not doing what the Creator wants you to do. Or even if you're doing what the Creator wants you to do, you're not doing it in the way the Creator wants you to do. If you're doing an action and you couldn't care less, as a matter of fact, it's important to you that nobody finds out about it, then that's an indication that what you're doing is right, that what you're doing is what the Creator wants you to do. It's very important to understand it. Very important to understand it.